Imagine losing everything, your family, your freedom, your name, and still finding the strength to rise each morning with purpose. Imagine living in a place where every sunrise could be your last, yet still whispering to yourself, "I will not surrender my soul." That is not legend. That is Viktor Frankl's truth, a man who faced the depths of hell and returned with a map for the human spirit. Most people today think suffering is an error, something to eliminate. We live in an age of comfort yet drown in emptiness. We have entertainment, abundance, distraction, but we have lost direction. Beneath the noise of success, there is a quiet despair. People don't know why they wake up. They chase goals that don't fulfill them. They scroll through other people's lives trying to escape their own. Frankl understood this long before modern psychology had a name for it. He called it the existential vacuum, the sickness of living without meaning. Viktor Frankl was not a philosopher by theory. He was one by survival. A brilliant psychiatrist in Vienna, he was arrested during the Second World War and sent to Auschwitz. His parents, his wife, his brother, all perished. He had nothing left except a mind trained to observe, to understand. In the midst of unimaginable cruelty, he watched men stripped of everything, possessions, dignity, identity. Yet some still carried light in their eyes. They comforted others, shared their bread, whispered prayers in the dark. Frankl realized the difference between those who lived and those who died was not luck, it was meaning. He saw that when a person has a reason to live, they can endure almost any pain. When the why is strong, the how becomes bearable. For Frankl, that why was simple but sacred: to finish his book, to see his wife again, and to help others find strength where there seemed to be none. That clarity became his shield against despair. He wrote later, "Everything can be taken from a man except one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances." Even in the shadow of death, he discovered something unbreakable within. He called this discovery logotherapy, the therapy of meaning. Unlike other psychological theories, logotherapy was not about pleasure or power. It was about purpose. Frankl realized that the greatest need of the human soul is not happiness. It is meaning. A person can endure hunger, cold, loss, and humiliation if only they can see a purpose within it. But when life loses its meaning, even luxury becomes suffering. And so Frankl identified 3 paths to finding meaning: creation, experience, and attitude. The first is through what you give to the world. Creation is not just art or invention, it is contribution. It's doing something that outlives the moment: writing, teaching, helping, building, raising, serving. You don't have to change the world. You only have to change the space you touch. The second path is through what you receive from the world. A sunrise, music, laughter, the embrace of someone you love. These moments remind you that life itself is a gift. They awaken gratitude, the quiet joy of existing. The third path is through how you face suffering. When pain cannot be avoided, you still have the power to choose your response. That choice transforms agony into growth. Frankl discovered that the same mind that collapses under meaninglessness can rise under purpose. In the camps, he watched men who gave up. They stopped walking, stopped eating, and died within days. But those who carried a mental image, a child waiting, a goal unfinished, a spiritual mission, they survived against all odds. Meaning became their oxygen, and this truth did not die with the war. It lives in you. You do not need to survive a concentration camp to apply this wisdom. You only need to open your eyes to your own life. You don't need one grand purpose for all time. Life changes. Meaning changes with it. Your purpose at 20 may not be your purpose at 40. And that's not confusion. That's evolution. Take a pen. Write down 3 things that give your life energy right now. They don't need to impress anyone. They only need to be true. Then write 3 ways you can contribute. Something to build, something to give, someone to help. And when you feel lost, return to that page. It's your compass when the noise gets too loud. Frankl also discovered something modern neuroscience has now confirmed. The mind expands or contracts depending on focus. When you direct your attention toward meaning, Your brain rewires itself for resilience. Harvard studies show that people who live with clear purpose not only experience greater satisfaction, but also lower levels of stress hormones and inflammation. Stanford research revealed that people who seek meaning rather than pleasure recover faster from setbacks and show more sustained motivation. Purpose is not abstract philosophy, it's a biological force. But here's the paradox. The more you chase happiness, the less you find it. Frankl called this paradoxical intention. Happiness, like sleep, cannot be commanded. It must follow naturally from living rightly. You don't pursue it, you allow it. The more you fixate on pleasure, the more anxious you become. But when you dedicate yourself to something greater than yourself, happiness appears quietly, like sunlight entering an open window. And still many people ask, what about suffering? What about injustice? How can there be meaning in pain? Frankl answered with his life. When you can't change the situation, you are forced to change yourself. Pain without purpose is despair. Pain with purpose becomes transformation. You do not choose every event, but you always choose your attitude toward it. Between stimulus and response lies a sacred space, and in that space, your power. The next time something irritates you, traffic, criticism, rejection, don't react. Breathe. Ask yourself, how will I respond? Not automatically, but consciously. That 5-second pause is the bridge between weakness and mastery. In that space, you stop being a victim and become the author of your response. Frankl's wisdom reminds us that the goal is not constant positivity. Even monks feel anger. Even warriors feel fear. The difference is in mastery. When emotion arises, acknowledge it, but don't become it. Anger can visit, but it cannot stay. Fear can knock, but it cannot rule. Freedom is not the absence of emotion, it is sovereignty over it. He used to say that life is like being asked a question. The world is constantly asking, what will you do with this moment? Your answer is not in words, it's in how you live. Meaning is your response to existence. Every day, you are given the same chance to reply, with presence, with courage, with contribution. So here's your 30-day path to meaning. Week 1, identify your why. Ask yourself, what gives me strength? What can I create? Who needs me? Week 2, practice awareness. Each time frustration rises, pause and breathe. Recognize your space of choice. Week 3, seek beauty deliberately. Listen to music without multitasking. Sit beneath the sky. Share silence with someone you love. Week 4, transform suffering into growth. Face one difficulty and ask, what can this teach me? Then act on the answer. Viktor Frankl did not just survive the Holocaust, he transcended it. He came out not bitter but illuminated, carrying a philosophy that has guided millions. His life proved that even when everything is taken, something remains. The freedom to find meaning in all things. He turned pain into a teacher, loss into wisdom, and death into perspective. He taught that happiness is not something you wait for. It is something that waits for you on the path of responsibility. When you focus on comfort, you decay. When you focus on purpose, you grow. You do not need more time, money, or luck. You need awareness of choice, clarity of purpose, and courage to act. These are the roots of freedom. So ask yourself now, if a man could find meaning in a place where hope was forbidden, what excuse do you have for not finding meaning here, in the comfort of your day? Every small act, every mindful decision, every moment of service becomes sacred when done with intention. You cannot always choose your pain, but you can always choose your purpose. Because meaning is not given to you by the world, it is forged by your response to it. It's the silent art of turning existence into expression, chaos into order, suffering into strength. Life is not asking you to be perfect, it's asking you to be present. It's asking you to answer its question with your actions. Train your mind, master yourself, walk the dojo path.